Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about some books, and as you can see in the title, these are the books which altered my brain chemistry. Like I was never the same after reading these books. And you might have heard about these already, or you might have not heard about these. Some of these you might have read, some of these you might have not read some of these, but I assure you that if you take a chance big enough to read these books, it will always have a imprint on you. Like they will never leave you alone, and you will always keep thinking about them when you are not thinking about anything else. So बिना ज़्यादा टाइम वेस्ट किए बिना ज़्यादा बकवास और किए मैं I'm gonna tell you the books which altered my brain chemistry forever. Okay, some of them are questionable to be honest. So the first one which I'm gonna be talking about is A Man Called Off by Frederick Backman. And Frederick Backman की मैंने बस एक यही किताब पढ़ी है. And I did not expect much while going into this book because it was a very famous book, but I thought like I don't know much about it, so I didn't even know what it was about. I started reading it. It is about this grumpy old man who has lived his life. Okay, to say the least, he has lived his life, and he's just like he's a Swedish citizen, and he's always grumpy. He's always shouting at his neighbors. He's always judging them for the stuff they can't and can do, and side by side his story, his life story, how he met his wife, how everything happened, where he is right now, how did he reach there, everything is going along in a alternate storyline in this book, in a subplot. And it is so eye opening to see so many people around us. It is a lesson in empathy, in friendship, in love, in believing a better world, in believing that humans are indeed good people, and that there is a reason why is everyone the way they are, and that we should not judge everyone the way they behave, because there is lot to a person rather than what they just show, if that makes any sense. All right, so the second book is The Shadow Lines by Amitav Ghosh. This is my first book of Amitav Ghosh, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. It is written beautifully. I wish I could write like him one day, but we will never know that. And this book, I bought it in, I think, when I was in college first year, so it was 2019. And now I have read it like last year, and it is life changing. I know I use that word a lot, but I mean it. I mean it throughout this video. Why? Because this is a story about a guy. This is a story about a country, India. The way people are shaped in this country, the way people, culture, religion intersects, the way everyone is included in the same story while also being the characters of other stories in other countries. It is so beautifully written. It is story of a generation. It is a story of a lot of empathy from this book for our previous generation, for the generations before us also. Like I learned what they had to go through during partition, even after partition, people who have dealt with a lot of cultures other than just being a part of a country like us. We live in very peaceful times comparatively. The next book I'll be talking about here today is a very famous book. It won the Booker Prize. It is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. And if you have been on my channel before, then you'll know I love, love, love this author, and I love this book. It is my most favorite book of all time ever since I read it last year. This book is about two twins. Two twins, yes. It's about a pair of twins who get separated when they were children and then they meet again. It goes through a story of a small village in Amnem where they go the first time when their mother is divorced from their husband. There are so many topics, so many trigger warnings in this book, and so many things, so many intersectional topics it talks about. For example, casteism, abuse, child abuse. It talks about exploitation. It talks about classism. It talks about Marxism. It talks about politics. It talks about patriarchy. It talks about gendered norms. It talks so many things. and it is written like a song. It is written so beautifully. I cannot believe someone could see and write like this, because Arundhati Royal writes in a very visual sort of way. Like, you read one line of verse, if you read a paragraph, you can picture yourself in that scene. You can picture yourself feeling, smelling, seeing, watching that it happen in front of your eyes. I think that is what landed her the Booker Prize, and I wish I could write like her, but I can't. So it forever changed my brain, because I have never read anything written like this before, and I am so sad that she does not write fiction a lot. Most of her books are non-fiction. She has only wrote like one other book other than this, which is The Ministry of Utmost Happiness, and I'm saving it. I'm consciously saving it, that I will read it in future in my life, and I will enjoy it. So I love this book. Please pick it up. Please read it. Next is Kairos by Jenny Erpenbeck. This also book won the International Booker Prize 2024, and this is one of the books which has a very questionable plot, and the protagonist of this book is a girl who falls in love with an older man than herself. It is set in Berlin, 1986, where they are dealing with Cold War. So there, if you know anything about history, then you must know that Cold War के time पे East और West Berlin का partition हो गया था. There was a wall that went up, and later the wall was broken, which marked the end of the Cold War. So you need to know that before reading this book. Although it doesn't have a very significant plot, but you will feel it always lingering behind that plot of the Cold War. It will always linger in the story, because the way the protagonist and her love of her life are meeting and then getting separated again, and then meeting again, and then getting separated again, because as the book starts, as the story starts, you know it's doomed. You know it's doomed from the beginning. Okay, I don't want to tell you much, but you know it's doomed from the beginning, because there is so much tension, so much drama in this book, because she's a very young girl and he's a very old man who has a wife also. So it's questionable, but it is written beautifully, and the backdrop of the Cold War and the end of the Cold War gives it a very surreal and very, I don't know the word for it, but it gives it very different feeling than rather than just being a romance book. And it is written really beautifully. That's why it won the Booker. So you should read it. You should give it a try. And I always think about these characters, like questionable things they did, but what made them do that? Those things I will never know. The last book in this video is My Dark Vanessa. I don't want to talk much about this book because it has a very triggering plot. I will just say that it is a retelling, you can say it's a retelling of the book Lolita, from the girl's point of view, from the child who was abused. So in this book, Vanessa Y has an affair with her English teacher, and she's a minor. So that's all I will say about this book, but it is written beautifully. It talks about what goes through an abused person's mind, or like how to deal with that kind of guilt. And at the same time, most of the people, every victim is different, and most of the people don't want to identify themselves as victims. So this book deals with that also. It has very captivating plot. It has a very questionable things that happen. You should see the trigger warnings before reading this book. That's all I want to say here. Thank you for watching till here, and make sure you hit subscribe.